guys. So it's been like 2 years since my last video. I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update. In my last video, I talked about my struggle and my journey with anxiety and depression. So this is kind of like a part 2 / update on what has happened in those 2 years since I've uploaded the video. So this is also going to be completely unedited. I just want to be as real as I possibly can with you guys. If I look like a mess, it's because I am. It's currently like, I think midnight, 1 a.m. So I guess I'll start where I left off. We left off where I was living in Houston, Texas, my hometown, and I was dating my boyfriend at the time. Well, shortly after that video, I think like a few months later, I moved to Dallas, my mom and I. We decided that it would be best to be closer to family, and she was also dating this man at the time, and she wanted to be close to him, so it was getting pretty serious. And that was very, very difficult for me. I was leaving behind everything I had ever known. All of my friends, you know, my school, everything. I was leaving it behind. But I pulled through, and for, I want to say a month, we ended up living with my aunt because we didn't have anywhere to stay. Finally, we got an apartment in Mesquite, Texas, if you know where that is. Shout out to you. And I started school there. My first day of school, I had a horrible panic attack. Basically where I was in the bathroom crying, begging my mom to come get me. And like the awesome mother that she is, she knew I'd pull through. And so she refused to come get me. And I did, I pulled through. And in one of my class, I didn't know anybody here, okay? So keep that in mind. I knew no one. I didn't have any friends. I mean, really, the only people I knew in this town were my mom and my large, crazy family. So, basically, in one of my classes, I met this girl, and I won't give out her name, just for privacy reasons, and instantly we hit it off. She was wearing a, I think, what was it? It was like a Pierce the Veil t-shirt or hoodie, and I complimented it, and we started talking about bands that we liked, and next thing I know, we're going to the Texas State Fair together, and we instantly became friends. We were hanging out with each other pretty much daily, you know, spending the night at each other's houses, going on crazy adventures, because I had recently gotten my license, like just after moving to Dallas. So we were going on all these crazy fun adventures together, just driving around the city, you know, exploring, kind of, it was one of those friendships where I'd call her and say, hey, do you just want to go to this place? Or hey, you want to go here, you want to go there? And we would. And then we moved in with my mom's boyfriend. Now, a couple months after moving to Dallas, my boyfriend, we broke up. And it was just, we were so young, and we kind of we couldn't really handle the distance. We weren't prepared for it. And so we moved in with my mom's boyfriend. And he has 3 kids. One was away at college. So it's very, very different being an only child. I've never had siblings. And, you know, now there are these kids who are basically my siblings. And it was definitely an adjustment, that's for sure. But, you know, I very quickly came to love them. And my mom's boyfriend told me that he was gonna propose, and he asked for my blessing, and of course I said yes. And so he proposed, and I mean, I was so happy for my mom. Now, during this time, I had been dating this guy, and he was an active duty Marine, and so he had just hit the fleet, and he was stationed in California. I had also gotten this tattoo that says breathe 4 days after my 18th birthday. Sorry, I'm sorry if this is kind of like out of order. It's just so much has happened. But anyway, so I was dating this guy, and instantly, I don't want to say that it was love at first sight, because I don't necessarily believe in that, but I instantly knew, like, he's the one for me. I want to be with him. And apparently he felt the same way, because he was flying to come visit me, and I believe it was July 10th. It was his last night there of visiting me and my family, and you know, my whole family instantly fell in love with him. You know, he was such a great guy. And so he wanted to take me out to dinner, and so I agreed, and we went out to dinner he said, you can go, he said, we'll go anywhere you want to go. Price doesn't matter. So I said, okay, let's go to my favorite restaurant, the Melting Pot. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's very fancy, and it's like fondue, and it's so good. But we went there, and as we were driving back home, he said, you know, I was wondering if you wanted to take a walk in a park somewhere and, you know, just kind of spend some time together one-on-one before I have to leave tomorrow. So I said, okay. And there was a park right by my house. This was actually before we moved in with my mom's boyfriend. So we were still living in the apartment at the time. And there's a park like right by the apartment. And now, mind you, it's like 10 o'clock at night. There's nobody at this park. And it's very, it's, I don't want to say it's dark, but it's like dimly lit, and it was a full moon, so it was very pretty. And we had been talking about getting engaged for a while. And he asked for my parents' blessing, and they said yes. And I should have known that he was going to propose that night, but I did not see it coming. And he proposed, and I said yes. And that same year, so 2017, November 11th, we got married in Las Vegas. His parents were there, my parents were there, and it was, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. It was everything I could have dreamt of. It was, to me, I mean, it was small. It wasn't extravagant at all. There wasn't a cake. There wasn't, you know, a reception. It was just a very small, tiny ceremony in this little place in Vegas on a rooftop gazebo. But it was so perfect to me. So I don't know if you guys can see it very well. there's my ring. It's my engagement ring. It's an opal in my wedding band. And then January, I moved to California, and we have a house together, and we're living on base. And he's so amazing, you guys. He's so amazing. And his mom actually struggles with anxiety and depression as well, which is kind of what I needed, somebody that knew how to handle me at my worst. And he definitely can. He has done an amazing job. He has been so understanding, so patient with me, but at the same time, he knows when to push me, because he knows when I can do better and when I can achieve more. So he knows when to push me further, but he also knows when to just kind of stop and leave it alone. And that's what's so great about him. And I mean, yeah, I'm living in California, so that's kind of been an update on my life. Now on to the fun part, my anxiety and my depression. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the last video, but I do have severe insomnia. So it's like anxiety, depression, insomnia, triple threat, and just kind of they all work together to just make my life that much more difficult. Now anxiety has I've improved greatly in that I'm not having panic attacks like 2-3 times a day, every other day. I probably maybe have one like once every 2 weeks now. Which is, I mean, it might not sound like a big deal to you guys, but it is to me, because that's huge for me. And my depression right now, I want to say it right now, I'm in what's called, or what I call, a low. So in depression, there are highs and lows. You know, there are times where you're going to be feeling like perfectly fine, you know, happy, energized, ready to take on the world. And then there's lows where you just want to sleep. You either want to eat a lot or you don't want to eat anything at all. You don't want to go outside. Sometimes you don't shower. And these highs and lows can last anywhere from a day to a few weeks. I'm currently in a low, which is normal. It's nothing to be concerned about, because that's how depression is. It's not constant. It comes and it goes, and it'll knock you off your feet when you least expect it. So I'm doing okay. My husband, he's currently gone on training, and he won't get back until the 27th. So I feel like being alone in this house, and I mean, I have my dog with me, but it's definitely attributing to my depression in a way. Because I mean, we moved here January 15th, and I have not been alone since then, like until now. Like, we haven't been apart from each other. So it is, I'm pulling through though a lot better than I would have 2 years ago. It's kind of to the point where I force myself to get up, get dressed, and go outside, even if I'm just driving around my car for 30 minutes, an hour, 10 minutes, whatever. I force myself, you know, I kind of say, okay, I need to quit moping about. I need to get up. I need to get dressed and just go outside and go somewhere and change the environment. So that's what I do. That's how I cope now. And so insomnia-wise, I have my off days where some nights I can't get to sleep very well, and other nights I sleep like a baby. So, but it's definitely a lot better than it was, and the kind of the key to that is that I am on a good balance of medication right now. I am currently taking Seroquel, the generic brand of Seroquel for sleep, and the generic brand of sertraline for my anxiety and depression. And so that has helped a whole lot. Just finding the right combination can be so difficult and so, it can take so long to find. But once you get it, because you kind of almost instantly feel a difference. So, and I've been on this combination of medication for, I want to say, a year now, and it's been working great. I am going to get back into therapy. I'm actually working on that right now, on finding a good therapist. Luckily, the military covers the cost of that, so all good there. And then I guess another big thing that really kind of was a big setback. I dropped out of high school. And the reason for that was my anxiety and my depression were at the point where I could not function in society. I could not function at all. I wasn't sleeping, and if I was sleeping for like 14 hours. And then I wasn't eating, and then if I was eating, it was just eating constantly. And I mean, it was so bad to the point where social interaction with anyone outside of my family was so, I mean, you may as well have been asking me to swim in lava. It was that bad for me. And this definitely isn't like a pity video. It's actually the exact opposite. I'm kind of here to show that if you work hard, you put in the work, you know, if you need to be on medication, go talk to your doctor and see what they can do for you. If you need to be in therapy, talk to your parents, or if you're, an adult, do your research, find a good therapist for you. And there's no shame in being on medication or going to a therapist. There's no shame in that, because you are doing it to better yourself, and anyone who makes you feel bad for doing those things should not be a part of your life. Okay? And that's just me being honest. Another big thing that I did to really improve my overall mental health was I cut out the toxic people in my life. That was a very difficult thing to do, but I did it, and I don't miss them, and I feel so much better. And I have a great relationship with my parents now. In my previous video, I kind of mentioned that I was having some issues with my father. That is no longer a problem. He is so great. I love my dad. He's amazing. And now that I'm older, I understand why he did the things he did. And that he never did any of it intentionally. It was because he was going through he was fighting some of his own demons. And I understand that now, because I've been through that, and I understand what that's like. And I understand how it can cause you to be towards other people. So I want to end this on a light note. I got another tattoo on my back, and it's kind of itching, and I really shouldn't be scratching it, but it's through my shirt, so it's okay. Of an elephant with its trunk raised. My grandmother, my late grandmother, she died when I was 2, but I've always felt a connection to her. And so she always had little elephants everywhere, and their trunks had to be raised because it meant good luck. So that's what I got. I got an elephant, the head of an elephant with its trunk raised. And maybe I'll insert a picture at some point if you guys want to see that. And I mean, yeah, that's my life now. I am currently unemployed, working on getting my GED, so I can go to college and do what I want to do. And I'm working on finding a therapist so I can live my goal is to just constantly better myself, and that's what I'm working on right now. I have gotten into doing more artistic things to help calm and ease my mind, and yeah, so if you guys have any questions, whether it be about what's it like being married to a Marine, or living on a military base, or how I cope with anxiety, depression, parents, whatever it may be, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will do my best to answer them in the comments below. And if you're watching this and you are still here from my last video, thank you. And let me know what kind of videos you guys would like to see, if any at all, if anyone's even watching this. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love all of you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day, night, morning, evening, no matter where you are. Bye.